Hello friends, I have to hurry up and record this video before I lose the light because I'm in my backyard. Well, I'm in my parents' backyard where I'm living. And I want to keep this under 10 minutes, approximately. But this is going to be Love to Rant, Volume 2. And essentially what I really wanted to talk about today is healthy relationships and the relationships that we have within ourselves. I'm single and proud. I think that that's something that, this is unscripted, by the way. So this is basically just like a conversation between you and I. What I feel is that there's a stigma around being single, and that like you must be unhappy or bitter or some kind of evil wench if you're single. And I don't consider myself any of those things. I feel like 9 times out of 10 I'm a very happy person. I'm very optimistic, and I'm pretty open about what I feel. So to all my single girls out there that, are doing themselves, props to you. It's not always easy, especially because, people get lonely. That's just something that humanity has come to be, is that we seek companionship. Excuse me. I just finished eating and I was like, I gotta hurry up and eat this food. But a lot of times in my life, I've noticed, or just it seems that a lot of people jump into relationships out of loneliness or out of convenience or just not for the right reasons, essentially. I feel like a happy, healthy relationship should consist, this is what I'm looking for, I guess, of 2 people who are completely 100% confident in themselves. I love you, but I don't need you. Essentially, it's a choice. It is a choice to be in a relationship. It is a choice to not be in a relationship. And sometimes I feel as though a lot of people have chosen to be in a relationship that maybe doesn't fulfill all of their needs, whether it be emotionally or spiritually, because it fulfills other needs, monetarily, physically, and I feel like those are just completely unhealthy reasons to be in a relationship, especially a committed, exclusive relationship. I don't think that it's a necessity. So I posted today on my Instagram, which I can link in the information box below if you're seeing this and you don't already know who I am personally. But essentially it's a quote that I need to go and edit because I got that from somebody else's page and give them credit for. But it says healthy self, and then it breaks that down into the syllables, essentially heal thyself. And so I feel like that is very exemplary of what my path is right now. Being healthy, it's gaining more popularity, but I don't see that as a fad, and I really want people to understand that health is wealth, is not just your physical body. It's your mental state. It's your connection to yourself and understanding what you need and what you want, and setting proper boundaries for yourself and your relationships, your friendships, your parents, your siblings, any and all people that you communicate with, essentially, needs to be there. So, sorry, I'm gonna try to give the camera more eye contact, but it's weird because I'm just looking at myself. So essentially your health is, all of those aspects. And so being a healthy person for me right now is understanding myself, really pinpointing my values, the ways that I want to live my life, and the things that I essentially would seek in anybody that I have a relationship with. And it gets complicated, obviously, in your 20s, you know, everybody's out there with somebody, and you're like, oh, it would be nice. It would be nice. But for me, it is gonna be a greater relationship, a more valuable and worthwhile relationship, if I take the time. This street is supposed to be quiet. If I take the time to understand myself first and foremost, and that means healing can be ugly. It can be a very ugly process. It can be a very time-consuming process. And the reason why I decided to break up with my last boyfriend, who I was with for a number of years, was because I really wanted to focus more on what I needed. There's a lyric, it's Drake, that I really like, and it's, I had to let go of us to show myself what I could do. And that just, a lot of people, I feel like, you know, they're like, oh, you know, it's better when we're together, it's easier, wouldn't you rather have somebody? I mean, I could, but I would really rather build up the strength on my own to know that I'm secure in who I am as an individual, as a woman of color, as a minority, as a young woman. I would rather have that security and know that I don't need somebody else, that I really know myself better than anybody else. So essentially, healing myself means that I'm uncovering past traumas. It means that I'm developing new habits. It means that I'm working on myself on all of those levels. Get home, people. Go home, Roger. So I'm working on all of those things for myself, by myself, and I think that it's a journey that, you know, not everybody is ready to make. And I didn't know how much I needed it until I was on it. So obviously I'm still developing my character. I think I've pretty much had the same personality for a long time. I'm very outgoing, and I'm just working on being more straightforward and telling people what I want, what I expect, what I command. And that's something that is so powerful to me, is owning your power. Something that I'm also working on is owning my sexuality and being proud of that. And I hate the term loose woman or promiscuous, because that's what works for one person is not going to work for everybody else. So sure, if you are satisfying your physical needs with multiple people and you're comfortable with that and you feel like that empowers you, do it. If you feel like being celibate and not entertaining people who only want a physical relationship with you empowers you, then do it. So it's just, for me, healing yourself is about finding what works for you and understanding why it works for you. So being a healthy person, we make mistakes. So acknowledging those mistakes, acknowledging, checking the time, acknowledging where you can improve, and then actively working in those areas that you see as your weaknesses and developing them in order to be a better version of yourself. And so that is my ultimate goal, is before I commit to somebody else, I want to know that I'm fully committed to me. Committed to, sorry, I just ate before this video, so committed to my goals 100%, committed to my roles 100%, committed to my dreams and the promises that I make to myself. Because I said this at my previous job, I said, so did you cook that meal for yourself, to a guy who's older than me? And he's like, no, I didn't cook this. Like, I'm gonna have a girl that's gonna cook for me. Really? That's cool. So what are you gonna do for her? Essentially, what I'm getting at is, for me, what I've decided is something that I respect, is that I'm not gonna ask somebody or expect anything of somebody else if I'm not willing to do the same. That just seems like common sense to me, but also that varies also. So cooking my own meals is something that I've developed over the past year, and it's something that I've actually really grown to love. And I feel like the more that you do for yourself, not necessarily in solitude, but just being more comfortable with being alone, really, I think, is going to enable me to value when I see that in somebody else. So the last thing, I know I said under 10 minutes and I'm just a little bit over, but the last thing that I really wanted to put out there that I could rant about for a full 15-20 minutes is, in relationships, even just like courtship, which like is getting phased out and is ridiculous to me, is that you'll go and, you know, you'll kick it with somebody of the opposite sex, and right away people, you know, want to get physical, or they will expect, and I've heard this from friends, I hear it in music, like, oh, we're gonna fuck because we're adults. And so I'm sorry, you're just expecting me to give you my body, all of it, and you've done what for me? Personally, just personal opinion, maybe unpopular opinion, ain't no dick that bomb. Like, I just really have to connect with somebody to want to do that. And if there's no chemistry, there's no physicality. I really don't care how good you look, how good you think you look, or how good you think that I need to be told I look, which I live in this every day. I know what it looks like. So I think that's really immature to just expect a physical relationship with somebody. So I guess I'll leave it there, and that's just my opinion. If you actually watched this entire video, I'm sorry that it went 3 minutes over what I anticipated, but like I said, unscripted. Maybe I'll give myself a guideline next time so that I can stay on point and not say so many times. So, you know, stay tuned for the next one to see if I improve, and if you like this video, give it the thumbs up. Obviously, my page is going to continue to grow, so please subscribe. I'm not going to be uploading 5 videos a week, so you won't get that many emails, and I appreciate any and all of the support. Please leave any comments and your own personal opinions down below, and I would love to hear from you.